dangerous that
and it's dangerous there as our as goalkeeper Boniface Oluoch comes to save the day. Musa Mohammed was left with a high ball there. There is Masharia starting from the right. The All-Stars also trying to play a tiki-taka football just like the Spanish boys. They don't know whether this one is going to materialize, as the referee says no. Ovelo Cheng, the Kariobangi Sharks midfielder, caught offside. And they've started well, this Cordoba side, although the Kenyan side are also pressing them, which shows that Kenyan football is maturing very fast, Corey.
Well, I think they're matching the Cordoba side, and very clear intentions that they didn't come to this game just to sit back. They came also to attack. They need goals. They need to prove themselves. And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
That is very positive there, as Coril said. Because after this, they play another game on Saturday. Right here in Spain. You'll be getting it live and free here at Bamba Sport. As we see just number 23, Yugoslavian born Sasa Markovic. Play the ball in the center there. But the Kenyan defense of Musa Mohammed takes it back to goalkeeper Oluoch, whose kick was not very convincing. Although the ball goes out, Victor Mena was there very menacingly, as his name suggests. Boniface Oluoch with it, wearing top yellow and bottom black. Mbogwa playing his football at Tusker. Very good ball being played there by Simon Mbogwa of Posta Rangers. Goalkeeper Mark Vito, I believe, will be a very busy man this evening, because I think he has handled more balls than Boniface Oluoch.
Than Boni. Yeah, well, if you look, I think the trend is beginning to show now. You can see Samuel Onyango trying to feed Vincent Oburu. And I think given space, then Vincent Oburu is going to trouble the Cordoba keeper.
Not even the Cordoba keeper. I think even Alex Vallejo is going to be having a very hard time this evening. Together with Mikel Luverio. They are really going to have a very difficult evening tonight, because Vincent Oburu looks like he's on song tonight. As you can see on your screen, Cordoba nil, Kenya nil, according to how they spell it. Yeah, they call it Kenya. We call it the Sports Pesa All-Stars from Kenya. With 11 minutes gone on the clock, no goals yet. As we look at the Kenyan defense, saying no parking there with Wesley Onguso, the Sofapaka defender. Remember, FC Leopards and Gor Mahia still dominate this team with 3 apiece. You can see Oburu there, Vincent. Always somewhere near the ball, Vincent Oburu.
Yes, he's getting to the end of those passes, and I think which is very positive in this game, because this is a very highly rated striker, emerged during the Under-20 tournament, the KPL, and I think he's just slowly trying to grind his way up and proving himself. And it's good to see him getting to the end of those passes, because you never know, he could be just the first one to shake the net tonight.
Most definitely, because it needs a lot of work to be able to get into those spaces. As they pull one through there, but Simon Mbugwa was there to cover his goalkeeper Boniface Oluoch. League winner with Gor Mahia, now standing second on the log. The Kenyan international goalkeeper starts a short one, very dangerous ball there, but still Robinson Kamura, the AFC Leopards stalwart there, was able to cover the danger. Mbugwa with the throw. We are looking at 12 minutes on the clock. Cordoba still cannot penetrate the Kenyan defense. That's a very good show for the Kenyan boys. Playing good football there with Simon Mbugua. I think jersey number 31, Sebas Moyano, is having a really tough time against against Mbugua and Onguso.
Well, yes.
Mbugua and Kamura too.
Well, he's definitely come out second best a few times.
Making even Coach Okumbi smile.
Yeah, I think he's smiling at that display, how he's being contained. Because I think he's happy about that performance.
I think he's happy about his boys so far. Good football being displayed here by Kenya with Boniface Oluoch again with the ball. Taking it easy, Boniface Oluoch. And as we look at Robinson Kamura, a player for AFC Leopards. Yeah, he was looking for his buddies there, but most definitely nobody was in the vicinity as Jamie Romero comes through looking for Sebas Moyano. Musa Mohammed says no. Musa Mohammed, one of the coolest defenders you always find in the Kenyan defense. In the danger areas there, all the balls that the Spanish boys are trying to put to Oluoch. They find Wesley Onguso, Musa Mohammed, Robinson Kamura playing wonderful football. It's very difficult for me especially to tell you that defenders are doing well, but you give credit where it's due. Cordoba returned the ball to their goalkeeper Mark Vito, wearing green, the green strip. 21-year-old Spanish goalkeeper playing with Joao Ricardo Silva. Looking to contain the Kenyans there with their small passes, but the Kenyans seem to have learned or seen their videos before, because this is a very good performance so far. They are trying to enter Oluoch's territory there, the Cordoba football players, but Musa Mohammed was there. A defender that comes from a footballing from a sporting family here in Kenya, with his kid sister Fatuma Zarika, Kenyan boxer who is now plying her trade in the United States. As I can repeat it, she is the little sister to Musa Mohammed of Gor Mahia, wearing jersey number 5 for the Kenyan side tonight. There was a foul there, and I can see Mbugua was involved. Let us see what the referee decides. And is that really fair play?
Well, that's fair play.
They start their game well, Cordoba. I think they thought they were coming to run over a team that they virtually don't know, but they are finding it difficult over the last 16 minutes.
Well, Kirumba, you have to note that ever since the season ended, and that was somewhere in early June, this team has not been playing. They've actually been holidaying. So this is actually their first match. So I think trying to get their mental back into gameplay is taking a while for them. And playing against Kenya, it's an unknown entity. Then you don't quite know what to expect. So I think they're at that stage. Opponent you don't know. You've not been playing for about 6 weeks. So it will take you a while to grind your way into the game.
That's very true. As Jackson Macharia is caught offside there. And they start the game with Sasa Markovic. Remember, Sasa Markovic is born in Yugoslavia. And he's the team captain, Cordoba CF. There he is, looking for his other charges and finding Victor Mena. The game has no pace as a span out. The game is played by Alex Vallejo, born in 1992 in a town called Alaves. Started his football there at Alaves, wearing jersey number 4 for Cordoba. Nice football, 1-2. But the Kenyan side still pressing. I think the idea of Okumbi playing out very nicely. And on the left, a cross coming in very low and hard. Alone with the goalkeeper, but Musa Mohammed was there. Very good defensive football by the Kenyan side. Very, very impressive. As Cordoba tried to press. Looking for a corner there. Fantastic football. Musa Mohammed with it now. The Gor Mahia captain. Still the captain in this team. And the danger is not cleared yet in the Kenyan box. Still very good football coming in from Cordoba. And alone with the goalkeeper there. But the referee decided it was offside. I think it was Guillermo Parrodas, who is the second assistant referee, saying, truth be told, that was offside. As Sasa Markovic, the captain there, could not even score after the whistle without a keeper. I hope those are signs of things to come.
Well, I mean, why would he score after the whistle has gone?
Just to show you can touch the net at least.
Just to show that he can. Or just to wake up the nets.
Of course.
Been a bit idle.
It's good for the ego, you know. They're beginning to float in long balls, the Kenyan side. Sasa Markovic going back with his goalkeeper, Mark Vito. This game has not been so physical. Jersey number 16, Joao Ricardo Silva. Playing it in the center there. Bogwa misses that one. And I believe it will not be for long. Sebas Moyano. Bringing it for Javi Sola. And madre mia de golado. They say madre mia de golazo. They go up in the air and score the first goal by Jonathan Mejia. The Honduras-born player who was born in Malaga. In the 20 minutes of the game, gives Cordoba the first goal after a very inviting cross there from the left. Good football there. Nobody marking Javier Soler. And a free header. Oh, coming there for Mejia. It is like it caught Boniface Oluoch flat-footed.
Well, the defending, he was given too much space. And I think for such a professional side, what do? Opportunity knocks, you don't knock that opportunity. So Kamura there and Musa Mohammed, you could see a moment of indecisiveness and left the player unmarked. And what does he do? Get the ball in the net.
Yeah, but I also believed it was a very soft goal to give away. But anyway, Kenyan still playing good football there with Mbugua jersey number 2 there on your screen. They're starting with Javier Soler. Don't you forget jersey number 9, Jonathan Mejia, Honduras born, giving Cordoba their first goal in the 20th minute of the game. A clean header coming in and into the net of Boniface Oluoch. I think it was just the first major attack of the game.
Well, you could see that they'd been trying to knock that defense, getting their way in. And remember, very early on, they were trying to use the right channel. Now they moved to the left. They got the space. The cross came in, the space, and they got the ball in. So I think they've been looking for it. Slowly, I think we've been looking at the Kenyan side too much. But I think in terms of the spacing and how they use the space, it's paid off finally.
Yeah, it's finally paid off. Although Jonathan Mejia is not the tallest of strikers, then he gets a goal, and it's a goal, and it's legit. As you see Oburu going down there with a third. Cordoba manager telling his boys to go defend. Manager Luis Miguel Carrion Delgado with his chin up now, since his side is 1-0 up. But I believe it will not be long before the Kenyan charges also begin to ask questions of the Spanish side. Cross coming in from the left there. Nobody to meet the ball. It's good to find people to attack the ball, and do a shot there, and the goalkeeper Mark Vito saving a ball from Oburu. An absolutely good shot, good attempt. Mark Vito had to be at his best, and Kenyans have a corner. The first corner of the night. And as you said, Oburu was always going to cause problems.
Yes, very promising player from Shofco. He's moved up FC under 20 off-season. As that corner is coming through, he was quite an attraction, and I think it's his time to prove himself.
Okay, and the corner is coming through. And a very poor corner, I must say. And now Kenyans have a throw-in. Let us see Mbugwa with the throw. Showing a lot of urgency there, Mbugwa, which is a very big positive at this point in time, because definitely they need a goal. A ball floated into the area. Nobody to attack the ball. We start it again with Alex Vallejo on the left. Fair weather, I must say. Kenyans not looking very disturbed by the change in weather. I believe it is a very, very little difference. As the goalkeeper Mark Vito starts the ball again with Alex Vallejo. Now with Miguel Loverio. Very difficult names these to pronounce, the Spanish names. But I'd rather these ones. The goal scorer there, Jonathan Mijea, tries to put Victor Mena through, but the ball was too fast. He put too much power behind it. Yeah, that again was the goal. Cross coming in from Victor Mena. Always menacing on the left side.
He's living up to his name.
Most definitely. Looking at how this game is going until the 25th minute now. Kenyans are trying to match the Spanish side kick for kick, which has been quite impressive. The difference being that one goal scored in the 20th minute by Honduras international Jonathan Major. Spanish of Honduran descent, I must insist. Very good football there. Looking again for Victor Mena. Victor Mena bringing in as low cross, but Musa Mohammed was there. Stanley Okumbi not looking disturbed by the turn of events.
You know, you have to remember that as the team was heading out, he clearly said that the bigger objective was the exposure and not even the result. So I think that's what he's trying to see, how well those players are playing and gelling each other. It gives him a chance to see what it is that they have.
The corner being brought in there by 27-year-old Jamie Romero. Very dangerous. They find a goal kick from somewhere. Esteve Montarde going up in the air to head the ball out. Another set piece coming in very dangerously there, Corey.
Yes, that's very true.
With jersey number 7 there, playing very good football. Velo Cheng. Velo Cheng in the box. Doing very well. Oburu again. Looking for space, Oburu. I hope he finds it. Ovela again. Very good football from the Kenyans there. And it's put to the right. Very wide from Bugwa. But again, the ball was a bit faster than the man. And it goes out for a throw. Isn't it too early for a substitute when you're leading? I think Coach Luis Miguel Carrion thinks not.
Well, I think he's weighing his options at this point.
Got all the options in a friendly, I must say. Alex Vallejo, jersey number 4. Very cool centre back. Can compare him to our very own Musa Mohammed as we play with Robinson Kamura there. Victor Mena coming back to help in defense. One touch to the other, but I think they're playing very dangerously because with the likes of Vincent Oburu in the Kenyan attack, I think a lot of diagonal balls across the goal there will cause a lot of danger for the Cordoba side. There he is, Oburu. Haven't even finished mentioning his name. Jonathan Major, it's Cordoba 1, Kenyan All-Stars 0. 29 minutes on the clock. Good defending there from Bugwa. Still with the ball, Bugwa. Looking for where to pass, he starts the ball home again. Which is one of the reasons why I must ask. Sometimes instead of the Kenyan players going forward, they begin to come back behind. It is really not very sweet for the eye to look.
Well, it's not, but sometimes you have to build up going forward, and sometimes you want to settle, look for that space, and look at the options that you have, because you can see there's too much activity on the right side, and I think taking it back gives you the opportunity to actually switch to the other wing.
That's very true. 2 substitutions coming in there. The goal scorer, Jonathan Mejia, out. Alex Vallejo out. Jordi Ortega in. Jordi Ortega has come in. Then Jonathan Mejia has gone out, and Sergi Guardiola has come in. Sergi Guardiola. Very familiar name, Guardiola.
Well, the Guardiola.
But there's, as they say, there's only one Guardiola. There are many Guardiolas, but only one Pep Guardiola. Former Barcelona midfielder. The Kenyans get a throw. Very good flowing football now with not so many stoppages. I think even the Kenyans are enjoying themselves here. Weather looking cool. They don't look too tired. I don't think they were disturbed by the weather changes, if there are any. Playing tiki-taka football has also been a style for Kenya in the last 31 minutes of football on this pitch. Remember, we are inside Estadio El Mali, Nuero Arcangel. Very long names there. And almost very dangerous control of the ball there in the Kenya central defense. But everything seems to have settled now with Boniface Oluoch alone in his area with the ball. They're playing very good football. Cool and composed. Kenyans, I think they are taking it easy, the Kenyans, so as to get a goal. I think if they panicked after the first goal, they would have already considered another one.
Well, if you're just joining us, then you wouldn't even know that the Kenyan team is trailing.
Definitely.
Because they look, as you say, very composed, very settled in. And I think they're just playing their game according to the instructions.
That is true. As you can see, the Kenyan bench there looking at the next course of action. As they get a throw, Coach Okumbi looking pensive now. He's seeing as if the first half is ending without a goal.
Well, you know, there's nothing as good as going into the break with a goal, whether you're trailing or you're taking a lead going to the breather. And I think that's what his plan would be for now, to try and get something out of this game just before the break.
Most definitely Kenyans need to get a goal from somewhere. And that is where we need players like Vincent Oburu, Simon Bugwa, Ovelo Chieng, Victor Majid. They should stand tall behind there to allow balls in front for players like Vincent Oburu, one of the boys that I believe are game changers. With Boniface Oluoch with the ball, playing very dangerously there. I don't believe in back passes myself, but that's my opinion. I can see Oburu really harassing Miguel Luverio. Being seen as one of the most dangerous Kenyan players on the pitch. Ovelo Chieng there wearing jersey number 7. You can see very dangerous football being played there by the Cordoba defense against Oburu. And it's dangerous there. The referee says it's offside. The assistant referee, rather. I don't think we agree with that, all of us.
Well, Onyango certainly does not agree with that. He thought he had timed it well, but I think it was just a shade too ahead, and I think it was spot on.
Ovelo Chieng was also offside on the other side.
Yeah, but Onyango definitely will not agree with that. And Kiromba, I remember when I was speaking just earlier on that Cordoba will want to enjoy themselves in the game. The Guardiola who just came in is actually a new signing, and he's just come from a 3rd division team. And I think the coach wants to see what he has to give. And I believe we will be seeing a lot of such substitutions in this game because they just want to enjoy the game and test as many new players as possible.
Yeah, it is important before the start of the new season. And you can see the playback there of how Vincent Oburu is causing problems there. I think.
Well, that's actually Ovela, and you can see he's quite comfortable with the ball.
You can see the Kenyans looking for space on the right there, looking for a penalty. I will also do the same if I were to be given the chance. The Spanish players looking concerned. There's a Kenyan player on the ground there. We'll be telling you who in a moment. Ahaya, Simon Bogwa, jersey number 2, plays for Posta Rangers in the Sport Pesa Premier League. I think he went down too softly.
Well, I don't think he was looking for the penalty. You could actually see that his head actually bumped onto somebody's knee. You can imagine how hard that hit is.
Yeah, and you can. His head actually looked heavy as he went down. And bumping into somebody's knee, anything with a bone is actually very painful, if I must say. The Cordoba defense having it hard for the last 5 minutes of this month. They are really being stretched to their limits here by the Kenyan. Good football. Looking for a goal. I think it is.
The Cordoba defenders have actually noticed that he's troublesome. You can see how his space is being shut right now. And then just a small correction, you call him David. I think he's actually Michael.
Yeah, I actually read what they wrote, but I know he's Michael Overa. He's a boy I know personally. And very long balls coming from the center of midfield there from the Kenyan boys. You can see Kenyan journalists seated in the stands there taking notes. Now it seems like both teams are beginning to get tired as the half wears out. Miguel Loverio there looking comfortable on the ball. Very easy ball to control, and I think we're beginning to miss some very crucial balls there in the box, which is very dangerous for us. Cordoba 1, Kenyan All-Stars 0. Goal scored in the 21st minute by Jonathan Major, wearing jersey number 9, who has since left the pitch. A good first half it has been here. Positive football. Looking at a very different kind of football from the Kenyans.
Yeah, very different. I think right now, at this point, their aim is to actually move forward and try and look for a goal.
Kenyan journalist Robin Toskin there.
I think he's trying to refer to his team sheet to fish out exactly who the names are.
Most definitely, they are not the most common names there. You know, they were relegated in 2 seasons ago with 3 matches to go, I must say. With a Kenyan player going down somewhere almost in the center of the pitch. We'll be telling you who. Oh, Victor Majid. The AFC Leopards midfielder going down with the third. You can see Okumbi speaking to his charges. The Kenyan bench, almost the whole of the Kenyan bench warming up. Can see Stanley Okumbi, I think, pointing out 1 or 2 problems that he has seen in the middle of the Kenyan midfield. Generally, I think it's a big positive for Kenya in this first half.
Well, I think they're trying to express themselves. Platform is there, opportunities have been there, and I think it's just for them to try and become a bit forceful, especially forward, because they're trying to play well in midfield. Defensively, we saw that just a lapse that they had actually cost us a goal, but then I think there's still time for them to recover and get something out of this game.
Guardiola just came in, and now he's beginning to break the legs of the Kenyan midfielders. Not a bad show for an evening of football here at Estadio El Mali. I can see families in the pitch. Almost the whole of the Kenyan bench, they are warming up. Hope they'll be warming up the whole of half-time, because I believe most of them will be on the pitch come the second half. Kenyans with a throw. With 42 minutes on the clock, still 1 goal separates these 2 sides. I can see Victor Majid is up as they start with Miguel Loverio playing with Victor Mena, one of the men that has been very menacing on the left side of the Kenyan midfield. Now Sebas Moyano there. As you can see, Boniface Olwatch very good at wasting time, this friend of mine. I think he knows what time it is. Playing with the referee's mind there, Boniface Olwatch. If he has not taken the goal kick up till now. Vincent Oburu was waiting for it, wearing jersey number 9, but he was looking for Mbogwa, jersey number 2. The ball didn't reach him. Sebas Moyano on the left, trying to look for space. But that is one of the moments when he could not penetrate the Kenyan defense. Football is funny, because 1 minute Ovelo Chieng is actually attacking, the next minute he's defending. Some of the players I like to watch are those that help in defensive duties. The Kenyans trying to look at least for an equalizer before halftime. Now the pass is coming in thick and fast. And so are the tackles. So many throws in this first half. Although Cordoba can see at least they have had a run for their money in the last 44 minutes of this game. A very little defensive lapse, they are giving them a goal. Boniface will watch. I think even Boniface always thought the ball was going out. Cordoba 1, Kenyan All-Stars 0. That is what is on your screen right now. And the Kenyans adding a gear to their speed here. Trying to look for a goal before halftime. Let's see what happens there. I thought it was a cross, with a cross coming in. I thought there was a handball there in the box, but the referee thinks otherwise. Yeah, the pace of this game has increased as the half gets to the end. Referee looking at his watch. Let us see what happens to this one. In the middle of the park there, I can see Esteve Montarde, Musa Mohammed. 1 minute of stoppage time added here. And Okumbi is not a very happy man. That will be discussed at the halftime. And I believe the Kenyan judges will be patting themselves on the back for taking the game to Cordoba as the referee blows his whistle for halftime. As Cordoba lead by a goal to nil, a goal scored in the 21st minute by Jonathan Mejia. The Spanish player with Honduran origin, who has since left the pitch as a substitute. The Kenyan judges holding together for a quick word of prayer at halftime, saying thank you God for a good game. And I believe the second half will be even better. And this is one aspect of discipline that we love here in Kenya. So we are down a goal to nil. But still, Okumbi's boys charge on. Yes, there they are. Musa Mohammed on your screen right there. Boniface will watch as they go for a tete-a-tete at halftime. You can see Masharia there. And I believe they have given Cordoba a run for their money in the last 45 minutes. Families coming to watch football. What a show. The night doesn't look dark. And it ends at halftime. Cordoba 1, Kenyan All-Stars 0.
Right, there we have it. Halftime, it is Cordoba leading the Kenyan All-Stars by 1 goal to nil. Unfortunate first half for the Kenyan boys, but again, well played. Position, as you've seen, 50-50. The Kenyan boys have actually tried their best, but again, defensive lapses, of course, actually cost Kenya that beautiful goal from Cordoba. Now, I'll start with you, Situma. It's a situation whereby maybe we are seeing a lot of defensive lapses from our side. What do you think about now the situation where Okumbi will actually have to gather his charges, tell them what to do for the second half? You as Okumbi, what are you going to say to your charges?
Me as Okumbi, I'm not
yes,
a coach.
You as Okumbi. You as Okumbi.
Okay, now, first of all, I would like to say that they have played very well, because I have not seen so much from the Spanish side, maybe in in form of attacking. But what I can say, like from that goal, it was a it was a 1v1 on the flank, and then we had an overlap from behind from the left back who was played on, and he bring in the cross, which was headed in with Jonathan. But I believe, as I said when we started the build up, I said this is a game that will have our offensive attackers to track the defenders, because it was like our winger just missed some few seconds to track the left back, and it was done. And I believe if we need to defend very well, we just need to work on that left side to make sure that the left back is not moving up.
All right, Corey, looking at that goal, of course, we were kind of confused at some point, and the goalkeeper, Mr. Boniface, also was hoping that ball was going outside, but he was shocked, actually. It was a goal.
That it actually went in.
Yes.
I totally agree with what Situma said. If you actually look at the build-up of that, the winger did not fall back in time, and because of that, the number 28 there got a chance to actually cross the ball. And before the central defenders could know what was going on, there was a man who had not been marked.
Sure. And
it was too late. Even by the time Boniface was trying to react to save that, it was in the net.
All right. Now, it was kind of a wake-up call for Kenyans, because this was one of the attempted, one of the shots on target for Kenya, but it wasn't to be. Situma, do you think now the second half will offer the boys opportunity? Maybe the stage fright is now over. Now it's now let's play football here.
Yeah, the few moments we have gone forward, we have had a few flashes from the Kenyan team. We have had from Oburu and also from Ovela on the flank. And I believe if we can have more of that, then we can have something, because it means we can take them on, because the guys, I believe, like at the moment, the Oburu is playing more comfortable. He has that confidence up front. So I believe we have to feed him more of the ball, because he has speed, he has energy, and if you watch the Spanish play, they are playing more possession, moving forward and leaving some space behind. So I believe if we can win the ball and attack more fast, then I believe we can get something from it. Yeah.
It's clearly evident that Cordoba's coach is actually playing his first team. It's do or die here, because it's pre-season for him, and he's playing his first team. Do you think it's too deep for the Kenyan boys to handle? Because now at some point, the tiki-taka situation Situma mentioned sometime, it's taking a toll on the boys, because now as much as you're used to long balls, tiki-taka, you've actually been introduced to spectators here.
No, actually, I have to say I admire the way Kenya is playing. And you know why? You can see they're trying to string passes, especially going forward. Now, the only thing that they're not doing with perfection compared to the Cordoba team is that they're losing a lot of those passes. Because if you look at the statistics, Cordoba has lost 20, Kenya 32. So that means there's a lot of it that is not being perfected. And I think once they get that right, they can actually try and get a goal out of this game. But then just what you're saying about the coach playing his first team, I've also seen like Sergio Guardiola, the one who came, is actually a new signing, came from a third division team.
Sure.
So I think in the second half, there'll be a lot of changes in the Cordoba squad in the sense that the coach will want to try out as many new players that he's bringing into the squad as possible. And I think their play will change. And I think that's the point where now Okumbi and the team, All-Stars team, should now take advantage and actually try and get something back out of this game.
We saw different players warming up just before halftime, and maybe we anticipate more changes coming into the second half. Situma, what's your take on his tactical arrangement in the first half, and what maybe should Okumbi change coming into the second half? We've realized Cordoba are actually playing a tiki-taka sort of game, and then they confuse you a bit, and then they actually do it long. Do you think maybe this is a tactic maybe they started with now? We've realized them in the second half. They might also change on us.
For me, I believe we got the tactics right, because so long they're playing, they're more on the ball, but they're not dangerous coming up front. It's just that one moment from the left flank, and it was a goal. So I believe for the second half, we just have to find the way that how can we deal with the left winger, because the left fullback, because he's pushing more forward. So I believe if we can track him, then we can have a chance of coming back to this game.
I think the thing to do, if you looked at the initial minutes, on the left, there's a bit of trouble there. but you could see that now the moment Ovela began tracking back,
Exactly.
then he actually closed that pocket because they're using a lot of that wing. Now, but suddenly they discovered that Samuel Onyango on the right side, on the right wing, is not falling back as much as Ovela is falling back, and they began to use the left side. So I think we can actually take them on. We can match their tactics. If they deploy this, we can actually do that. If the winger just falls back a little bit, it means now we can solidify, especially the right, the right, well, on this side, my right, where that cross came in from for them to have scored. If you look at the combination between Ovela, if he can just get some of his passes to Oburu, you saw some of those instances where he actually shielded off on the turn, got that kick, got a corner, the only corner of the game. I think with a bit more of the balls to Oburu, there's something out of this game that we can get.
Situma, should we be possessive in this situation or push? Because now, as much as we are learning, because of course those are lessons we're learning, tiki-taka type of game and the frustrations, those are lessons we're actually going through. Now, the second half coming in a few, should we hold the ball, or maybe in Nkumbu's shoe? What's your advice? Because should we hold the ball? Should we go for the goal? What do you think?
Of course, as a coach, you want to win, and you are losing at the moment. It's a friendly match, but we want results. You see, as a coach, you want results. You want the best from your players. And I believe the last 10 minutes we have done well, because or even on the right side, you have seen most of the time, like 3-4 times, you have seen Simon Mbugua is pushing forward to make sure that he can have a chance of bringing in some crosses. So for me, I believe if we can have more on the ball, and we have that belief that if we can make good attacks, then we can get something from this game. And it's just to have that belief from the boys, and like, yes, we can, and more of confidence on the ball, and I believe we will have something.
All right, social media tease, of course, the usual suspect, Mr. Bobo Wino, says tiki-taka worked for our opponents. Look at their goal build-up. And of course, that means the goal build-up, of course, was out of a tiki-taka attack. Mr. Lenana Lian, that's of course from the other side of Kajiado, says it's indeed a shame for the Kenya All-Stars, because now we can't even hold the ball, we can't concentrate because we're in a foreign land, so there's a shock in it also, in a package now. Korea, of course, social media has its own opinion. Do you think it's stage fright? Of course, yeah, we took a flight to Spain.
You know what, Nick? You know, we should learn something from this game. Like football, you need to have a good surface so that you can play. If you want to play good football, then you have
the surface
exactly
good.
Because if you have good surface, you know, the ball, like unlike our surface here in Kenya, you know, like there the ball moves so fast. You see, so you have to make sure that you adapt so fast. And like here in Kenya, we always play in the I can say in the farm, because before you make a run.
It's too much trying to say. The pitch is too good for our boys that we're now becoming comfortable.
Yeah, these guys are training
we're turning into being spectators.
Yeah.
Well, I think in other words, he's insinuating as much. But if you see our Kenyan players, you can see the quickest to adapt to that surface, I think, is Ovela. You can see he looks so comfortable. It's like he plays there all the time. And I think when
where Ovela do train?
At Utali.
They have good surface.
Yeah, Utali, but there's a very good surface. It's a very good surface.
They took some time and come up with a good surface.
All right, let's not start playing excuses here right now, because it's a game of football. The better the surface, the better your game should be, I believe. So,
exactly.
So let's have the second half, actually, they come and make amends from the weaknesses here. And Korir, maybe your expectations in the second half.
My expectations?
Yes.
Well, this is a game we can turn around very easily. And why do I say that? We've seen passes being strung around. We've seen that a change of strategy just a bit can actually contain Cordoba, just the way I talked about. Initial minutes, very dangerous on the right, and then suddenly that was killed off. A bit of a lapse cost us the goal. But if you look overall, passes getting to Oburu, he's got this powerful run. You can see he has a shot, and I think we should take advantage of more of that. Ovela, with a less of the ball on his feet and a bit more of crosses, then we can actually get a few goals. All
right, now, of course, we expect few changes coming in the second half. Situma, maybe where is the actually gap, the porousness in the situation, tactical situation? Why do you think you can make a change over there?
Okay, at the moment, I can say, okay, I can give the team again another maybe 10, 15 minutes to make sure that maybe they have we have that stability in the team, because at the moment they are not playing badly, because we have had some, I said we have had some of the flashes on the flanks, but remember we have also some speedy wingers on the bench. You have Mushiri on the bench, who is someone good. So for me as a coach, I'll just maybe talk to the guys like, okay, maybe I give you 10 minutes, push yourself, make sure that we have a goal, and then maybe I rest you, I bring in someone else to make sure that we have a chance of winning this game, because Kenya has SportPesa All Stars has a big chance in coming back to this game.
All right, there we have it. Of course, the second half starting in a few. Right now, of course, they're coming out of the tunnel. And of course, I'll hand you over to a commentary booth of the day, Mr. Peter Kirumba, and he'll be joined later by Patrick Korir.
Welcome back to the Estadio Nuevo Arcangel El Mali, as the Kenyan boys come out of the tunnel. You can see Majid there, Masharia, coming back for the second half. It is still 1-0. As you can see in your picture there, the Kenyans giving a good account of themselves in the first half. There you could see Vincent Oburu doing the best he could there. Victor Majid, I must say, wearing jersey number 13, causing goalkeeper Mark Vito to go all out, at least for the first corner for the Kenyan side. There they are, holding on together for a quick word of prayer to the one above, at least for a good second half, which I believe will be there. The Okumbi boys there, happy to be in Spain, giving a good account of themselves, playing good football. I hope to see some of the players on the bench come inside the pitch this second half. Referee Angel Rosas Fernandez, can see him again looking at his charges, counting everybody, and we are underway. Cordoba 1, Kenya All Stars 0, as we begin the second half. Very dangerous. The underground tops there, or whatever. The underground tops.
Yeah, well,
Up.
Kirumba, a few things we are not used to.
We are actually used to these things, but we don't actually see them.
Well, we were at Ruaraka the other day. We didn't quite see water sprinkling.
I didn't even expect
Oh.
that.
Well, that's what I meant. So a few things we are not used to.
Yeah, especially when the game is starting and the players are on the pitch. We might concentrate on them and forget about our football as the ball goes out there. We can see Mbugwa. I can see two people playing very similar kind of football. Victor Majid, Vincent Oburu. Samuel Onyango being at the center of the cog, the center cog that controls everything there. Very strong on the ball. Very hard to dispossess. There he is, Samuel Onyango. But it is always difficult to take anything from the KDF soldiers. As they start there with jersey number 2 playing 1-2 football. I think they start playing very long balls, this Cordoba side in the second half. I think they think in the first half they could have scored more goals if they played longer balls. But now in the danger area there, do they have a penalty? I guess so. The referee points to the spot. No. And it's a goal kick. At some point I thought it would have been a penalty there. Musa Muhammad, I thought it was a penalty. Sebas Moyano going down very easily. And the referee saw him. The referee there, spot on. Boniface Oluoch, the Gor Mahia goalkeeper, kicking it forward. I'm hoping to see the ball being played from the center of the park, because in the first half, I think we have, yes, speedy wingers, but it didn't really work for us from the flanks.
Well, it didn't. I think it's just a matter of precision. If a few more of those crosses come in, and especially find Oburu, you can actually see he's got something. You remember the turn and the shot, and I think if he gets a bit more of those balls, then he can actually trouble the keeper. But just very quickly, as that is being taken, remember after the first half, the ball possession was actually 50-50, which means Kenya has as much a chance as Cordoba themselves.
Very true. At some point, we had a 50-50 possession as Wesley Onguso comes to throw. Very good throw of the ball, that one. The Sofapaka stalwart. Saw him throw a lot of them against Nakumat about 2 weeks ago. Now he's doing the same thing in Spain. How life changes in a bit. We can see the second half. The second half coming on very fast. Both teams playing very fast football. Another menacing cross into the box. Nobody really harassing those attackers from Cordoba. And it is becoming a really big concern there for goalkeeper Boniface Olwach, because so many crosses are being allowed to float into the All-Stars area, and Boniface Olwach doesn't look very happy with that. I think the game is much faster in this half.
Yeah, it looks a lot faster. I think the intent has gone a notch higher after the pep talk at the breather. And I think everyone wants to up the ante, especially Kenya needs to actually get a goal in this game, because remember they are trailing.
It is good to get a goal very early in the second half, especially if you're the ones chasing the game. It is actually very good to get because you don't even know the reaction of your opponent if you equalized very early in the game. But as it looks now, a shot from far, but Musa Mohammed, with a lot of self-belief, Musa Mohammed playing to Ovela Ochieng, jersey number 7. Again, Wesley Onguso there. Patila Omoto, jersey number 8, plays for Kariobangi Sharks. That was a handball, I believe. But anyway, all's well that ends well.
Well, it wasn't, as long as the referee didn't see it.
They say the referee's confusion is final.
As much as there's a call for it.
The only person who doesn't have to answer you, and you don't take offense. Playing very good football there, the Cordoba side. Opening up their flanks. I believe whatever is happening on the pitch there, Okumbi has it. Because right now I can see Luis Miguel Carrion Delgado talking to his charges. I think he spoke in Swahili there, telling him to take it easy.
I think, Peter, you also note there's a lot of communication coming in from the captain, Musa Mohammed.
Yes.
And you can see that he keeps calling his players, telling them to be at the right position to mark their persons. Because remember, when the goal came, it was actually a case of the wing-back not being closed down.
Yes.
For him to bring the cross that eventually led to the goal. So I think he wants to make sure that there are lesser errors in this second half than
at least
compared to the first half,
for them to come and produce more cover than was seen in the first half. Very difficult ball there for coming in from the Spanish side. All the way, and I thought it was in goal. I thought it was going to I thought it was going in. Very close, but it hits the side net. I think Musa Mohammed will need to talk to his players in all manner of languages for them to understand what he wants them to do. Easy does it in the box, and he's very dangerous there, but the ball goes off. And I believe that the speed of the game is really actually becoming a disadvantage for the All-Star side. You can see the Spaniards coming in there without fear. Yes, Velo Chen goes out. Velo Chen goes out. And in comes Boniface Moshiri, wearing jersey number 10. Ovela is out, Moshiri is in for the All-Star side. With 54 minutes on the clock, still 1-0 in favor of Cordoba. As they come there with Jose Antonio Caro. And they get a second goal. As they get a second goal, and they say, Madre mia de golado. Just after the substitution, they get a second goal. Doesn't look very happy, Coach Okumbi.
Definitely, body language is not. But I think there's too much space that Cordoba has been given. And I think they're capitalizing on it. And look at where it's coming from.
The ball is coming from very deep. Oh, Musa Mohammed missing the ball. No cover for Musa Mohammed. And there they have it, Cordoba. Through Jose Fernandez, jersey number... in the 55th minute. Oh, Kenya go 2-0 down. As the game progresses, I think Kenyans are getting a tired feet.
Well, you have to look at where the ball came from. Same channel as the first goal. It comes down to the same marking. Too much space, the cross came in. Well, it's unfortunate that the last man couldn't clear it out and it became a goal. But I think that's what needs to be worked on, exactly where it begins to become dangerous. And it's on the left wing.
Yeah, but there was no cover. Just the minute Musa Mohammed missed the ball. And there they are, the Cordoba side. 3 offsides at one go. Starting with jersey number 14, Sergio Guardiola. Who is now the captain of the side. With the goal scorer, jersey number 17, Jose Manuel Fernandez. They get the second goal. It is really, really becoming difficult as they bring in many substitutions there, at least to change the fortunes of this game in their favor. Only one substitution so far for Kenya. Do you think because of their many substitutions, maybe Kenyan feet are tired? As Cordoba bring in so many fresh legs?
Well, it distorts the game plan because new players coming in, fresher, newer tactics. But remember, Kenya has a full bench. You've got one substitution coming in, so you've got another 6. And it should be a shame that you don't get to play them. So I think as much as Cordoba are making use of their bench, then Okumbi also needs to start giving more chances to some of the players we have on the bench.
Of course, because as it is right now, we get they get a goal kick from jersey number 14, and it was a menacing cross there again. Sergio Guardiola couldn't control it with his head, and out it goes. I can see Edu Ramos will be in the pitch any time now. Oh yes, Edu Ramos. Jordi Ortega is out. And again, another substitution. They actually started with the goalkeeper, because now the goalkeeper is Alberto Gonzalez, coming in for Mark Vito. The starter of the game. As the referee puts the game to a halt, you can see again very dangerous balls coming in from the flanks as the Cordoba side move forward.
Yes, we are seeing a lot of that, especially in this second half. Given the intent, you can see one of those grasping the crossbar.
The
Very
crossbar coming
dangerous.
to the aid of Boniface Oluoch, who looks very, very exposed in this second half. I think even the All-Star side need fresh legs, especially in defense, because the kind of speed that Sergio Aguza and the likes have come in with is actually very big for the All-Star side. Another cross coming in and a header that didn't really point where he needed it. The crossbar there coming in from Sergio Aguza. Sergio Aguza knew he was scoring that goal. Very dangerous balls coming in there. Musa Mohammed with a lot of work to do. Kenyans beginning to lose their belief. Dispossessed very easily in midfield. Again, Alfaro in the box. Another cross into the box there. Musa Mohammed almost dying for the team. Musa Mohammed.
Yeah, being forced into dangerous, desperate defending.
Sergi Guardiola and Jonathan Major went out for Cordoba, as it is still 2-0 in favor of Cordoba, the homeboys. Kenyan All-Stars haven't even got one back, but there's still time. 60 minutes on the clock. We are looking at coach Stanley Okumbi, calculating his next move. And I hope it will be a positive move, at least to give the All-Star side at least a goal before long. Long balls, long touches. And we can see a spark of the Spanish La Liga now coming from Cordoba. Boniface Mushiri, most definitely. I have seen people let off for big offenses.
I think his challenge was deemed a bit late and dangerous. New task assigned.
As they get a free kick there. Let us see what happens after this. Jersey number 7, Javilara, bringing it low. And oh, this one is what we say, tell it to the birds.
It's more of a conversion.
It's more of a rugby goal.
Remember I told you there Mova to whom it may concern.
To whom it may concern. Boniface will watch. Looking to talk to his charges and tell them, plan himself. 9 shots against 1. Cordoba 9. All Stars 1. In this fast-paced second half, with almost the whole team substituted. I think there are only 2 or 3 players remaining from the ones that started the game. Because now, even in goal, we have Alberto Gonzalez. There goes Jose Antonio Caro. Defender wearing jersey number 2. Kenyans chasing the ball. Opting to kick, to play high-end football, which is a bit slow. The Kenyans, because I think from the middle of the park there, the Cordoba players are dictating the pace.
Well, they are totally dominating, and I think now they're just proving to the Kenyans that, you know what, this is our ground, this is how we play our football. And you can see those passes that we're dreading initially actually now being strung effortlessly.
I think this is a new team. I think this is the team that is going to represent Cordoba in the league as their first team. Very different side from the one we saw in the first half. Stringing passes quick and fast, showing intent, going for goal. The first few minutes of the game, they really went for the jugular. And most definitely they got their goal. They did have a brush with the crossbar, and now they have a foul. 65 minutes on the clock, another yellow card. Wesley Onguso. 2 yellow cards for the Kenyan side in the first 20 minutes of the second half. That says a lot about this half.
Well, it's become a lot more physical compared to the first half, where it was a clean game, a lot more of possession and passing. But now we're seeing a lot more of contact, and hence some of those yellow cards coming to the Kenyan players.
Because we hadn't seen 1 card in the whole of the first half. But in the second half, we've had 2 yellow cards for the All-Star side in quick succession. It is becoming more and more difficult for the Kenyan boys. You can see Kamura there speaking to the referee, because the referee has awarded a penalty. Ask me why. Because I believe the ball was out already. And as Mbugwa raised his hand to attract the attention of the referee, and makes it 3 for Cordoba, with 67 minutes on the cards. Playing a long ball there. Musa Mohammed with the clearance. Not very convincing clearance. High boot coming in there from player jersey number 6. He's called Edu Ramos. You've been told he's one of the most prolific in this side. But the referee there seemed to have forgotten where he put his yellow card, because I believe that is a yellow card offense. Victor Majid going down, jersey number 13.
I think it's more about the shock of where the card was, why it didn't come out. I think it's what you said, that you've seen some challenges whereby harder have been made, but no cards coming out. I think that's one of the ones you're talking about.
I'm looking at a Kenyan substitution here. I think Maurice Ojwang, jersey number 15, I can see he's all warmed up and ready to come in. I will be telling you who against Quilles. Few minutes left on the cards, but I think The referee should be a bit lenient here. Anyway, let's see what happens in this one. Goalkeeper Kigonya springing up and down, waiting for it. And it comes menacingly. And the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper, Kigonya, is at his best form so far. Definitely better than Lamas there.
Well, yes. Well, you can understand that's why he made the team. He's been outstanding for Sofapaka, and that's why he made the cut to make it to go to Spain. So good show from him.
Absolutely. If you see a player on the pitch for less than 5 minutes being told he's good, he must be good. Kenyans get a corner, and it's floated in there. Ed Ramos with a header. Good football being displayed here, also very fast in the second half. We are in the 86th minute, going into 87. Cordoba 4, Kenyan All-Stars 0. We are playing in the last few minutes of this one. Remember, another match comes to you live this Saturday, same time. As Cordoba seek to start another attack against the Kenyan All-Stars. On the left there, Javilara. And again looking for a third penalty. The referee this time shying away from controversy, I think.
A short while ago you talked about him being lenient. Probably heard you.
Most definitely, he must have heard me.
Would have been too much. 3 penalties.
3 penalties. You know, sometimes it's good to be a bit soft on your visitor. As a cross comes in there, and Kigonya once again proving his worth. Kigonya very fast, very agile, with sticky hands. Moshiri there, almost playing it alone. Moshiri trying to break into the Cordoba defense. But still again, the Kenyans are losing the ball pretty easily in midfield. Losing the ball quite easily in midfield there, the Kenyan All-Stars. What happened in the second half with the Kenyan team crumbling like a house of cards. Less than 2 minutes on the clock. And we can see the confidence that they showed in the late stages of this first half having disappeared from the Kenyan side as the cross come menacingly by the goalkeeper Kigonya, proving his worth once again. Very agile, very fast, with very sticky hands. Absolutely fantastic. Few minutes on the pitch, but most definitely few beautiful minutes as we play the last few seconds of the game. Cordoba looking for number 5 with a cross that is high and wide. And as Korir said, kicks it to whom it may concern. Playing the better football for the better part of the second half, this Cordoba side. But all the same, Kenyans having a good experience here. Although in the last minute of the game, they give away a corner, hoping it will be the last set piece of the game. The referee speaking to his assistant there to see whether there's still time for a corner as Kenya makes another substitution. Ogendo comes in. Ogendo comes in. I'll be telling you who goes out if there'll be time after the corner as it's floated in. Bugwa with a header. Another cross on the offing. Let us see what they get out of this one, trying for number 5, but the shot was quite ambitious. And the referee blows his whistle for full time. And that was the visit of the Kenyan side to Estadio El Mali Nuero Alcangel, going down 4-0. Goals from Jonathan Major, Sergio Guardiola, Alberto Quilles, and Alejandro Alfaro. Coaches having a one-on-one, asking each other what went wrong. And a good handshake, one to the other, from both teams. The Kenyan side thanking the man above for a good game. No injuries, good experience, good exposure, and a good lesson. Coach Okumbi there. Both coaches not looking very happy, trying to console themselves that the result doesn't really reflect the game. Looking at the families on the pitch, saying kwaheri to Kenyans. But most definitely, we've had a very good night of football. Coach Okumbi on the pitch congratulating his substitute goalkeeper there, Ugandan-born Matthias Kigonya. Telling his boys to take it easy. Lesson slant. And it ends here, Cordoba 4, Kenyan All-Stars 0.
All right, there we have it. As Peter Kirumba has said, we've all seen it. 4-0, our boys going down and testing the Spanish wrath by Cordoba. Beating them 4-0, and of course, it wasn't an easy match for our boys. But again, it's a game of football. We weren't there to learn. We've learned something, one or two. Of course, on Saturday, we still have a responsibility against another side, Sevilla, we should be taking on such a time. Now, gentlemen, and of course, we didn't expect this at 1-0 at halftime. We hope maybe Okumbi will inspire his charges. But again, many say he's actually presented his manifesto. So it's kind of thick. Let's now, of course, hear at what maybe Okumbi had to say, because it's been a very difficult day.
We were able at least to close each and every spaces that they were creating, but I can say that in the second half somehow we conceded easy goals, two penalties. The second goal, of course, it was so easy. Then 2 penalties, but in the end, of course, it's a good exposure to our players. Of course, we have learned a lot, and I believe that in the next game, of course, we are going to work on it.
I mean, as you say, it's a question of learning a lot from the first game. You have another game on Saturday against Sevilla Atletico. What do you think you can take from the game, from today's performance, that will help you on Saturday?
Of course, I can say that our players have not used into the speed of the game, especially the passes, the movement, and I know that for sure they have learned a lot. We have learned a lot, and I know that we are going to prepare the team well, bearing in mind that maybe Sevilla might be stronger than Cordoba that we have just played against them. But I know that we are going to prepare well, and we are going to handle the game very well.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
All right, there we have it. Stanley Okumbi, the coach, hoping for the best on Saturday. It's very windy in Spain, as you see on the sides there. All right, now, Korir, let's go into all this, because we didn't expect the drubbing, but again, life happens. So what do you think happened in the second half?
The All-Stars didn't show up in the second half. It's as simple as that. First half, they gave their all, took as much as they gave, and you could see that they had something coming. But unfortunately, we expected more, we got less in the second half. And it's Cordoba who stepped up. Some of the substitutions, the most experienced defenders, Edu Ramos, Alfaro, the one who scored one of the penalties, those are the ones who clocked the most games in the ended season for them to finish 10. So the moment that experience came in, then we realized that we were worlds apart. That's how we were beaten.
All right, Situma, maybe, I'm very sure you're watching this, and it's unfortunate, maybe. What happened?
Okay, I thought we will do well in the second half, but I think the Spanish coach read the game very well, because first half they were not maybe playing that fast. They were not fast on the ball, and it allowed the Kenyan team to come behind the ball. But come second half, besides changing the entire team, the guys they never gave us a chance on and off the ball, because whenever we were in possession, they came in so fast, they closed the line so fast, and when they were in possession, they played more fast, they were more fast on the ball, they attacked with a lot of speed. And as a player, when you get into the box with a lot of speed, anything can happen. We give the referee the benefit of doubt, because it's a 50-50 situation. When a striker is in the box with a lot of speed, then anything, maybe any touch, it's a penalty. And
yeah, we've seen pressure actually getting a toll on our boys, conceding penalties, because now such a soft touch, of course, someone goes down, the referee points to the sport. Now, is it pressure that was actually mounting on the boys, of what happened, Korir?
I think that's what Situma just talked about. Speed, you come rolling into the box. Any touch on you, you go down. Referee, benefit of doubt, he'll give a penalty. They may have looked soft, but you know what? It could have been worse, because I think just towards the end, there's something that looked more like a genuine penalty. But then I think he just said, you know what, enough is enough. But compared to the first half, the speed of the second half, I was trying to keep pace of where the ball is. You're looking and you're looking. And yeah, it was so fast, and I don't think we're used to that kind of speed. It was too fast, and we just couldn't handle it. Our game plan was distorted, and that was finished the first 5 minutes into the second half.
We talked about the pace in the first half. It seems like they increased the pace in the second half. Do you think that's the reason why we actually succumbed to all this?
Exactly, they created more 1v1 situation in our own half, and it was difficult for our defense line, our back four, to contain the speed, because when someone is coming with the ball with a lot of speed, then it's hard for you to defend. And it worked for them. And as we talked earlier at the start of the game, like their flanks, they have more speed guys on the flank, and you have seen all the goals have come from the flank. The second goal from the right flank, and the second and third and fourth from the left flank. So it's a style, it's a strategy for the coach, because when he realized that, okay, Kenyan guys are getting behind the ball so fast, then he came in second half telling the guys that, you guys, we have to attack with more speed, and we have to move the ball around with more speed, because in the second half they were like playing 1 or 2 touches on the ball.
4-0, going back to the drawing board. I understand there's Sevilla waiting for us on Saturday now. It won't be an easy match, of course, because you've tested the wrath. That's actually a wake-up call. Baptism by fire. Okay, well and good. Now, moving on to the drawing board now, Korir.
Mental strength, that is one. Lessons picked, how quickly can we correct them? The flanks, we just couldn't defend them. And as rightfully as Situma said, that's where all the goals just came pouring in. So I think that's what needs to be worked on. Give chances to more players. I think also the substitutions that we made never came in good time. You can imagine Victor Ogendo, coming in, I think 2 minutes to the end of the game. Did he even touch the ball? No. He didn't even touch the ball. So why was he coming in? So see, some of those things, I think, just like Cordoba did very early, first half, I think they had already done 2 substitutions. Because this is, you're testing out players. Give them chances when the opportunity is still early in the game.
All right, now, we understand the trip the boys actually did in Spain is coming to an end on Saturday after that game. But again, coming back home, we have to check the positives, Osituma. What do you think are the positives you've actually taken from this first match? Because I understand you need to learn something In every difficult situation, even the wise men say, you have to learn something.
Yeah, of course, it's a learning process at first, because we're playing at a higher level against high-profile players, and football on a high stage is a total different, because any small mistake, then you are done, and you have seen it like simple mistake on the box, then we are under pressure. So we are learning though a harder way, but I believe with time, if we have that consistency and we have that will to make sure that we want to take football to another level, and we come on board all the stakeholders, then we can do something, because that's where we want to go. Because if we believe that we want to play in World Cup, maybe to play in World Cup 2022, this is the same pressure we are going to get. So it's better we have a way that our players get used to it, and how can they cope with the pressure, because this is another stage with the total different demands.
All right. Before we leave, maybe on Saturday, of course, still have another responsibility. What do you think now should happen to Okumbi? Or what do you think Okumbi should actually tell his side now? Because when this happens again on Saturday, trust also goes down as far as Okumbi's prowess is concerned. What do you think about now Okumbi's situation?
Well, he just has to push his boys, become adaptive. And I think that is the key word here, because we just could not adapt to the pace of the game. We're poor at defending those flanks. So we need to adapt to the speed of the game. Good surface. Sevilla could probably play much faster than Cordoba the way you saw them today. So they need to adapt to that. When they're too fast on the ball, what do you do? And I think that will be key to how many goals could come out on Saturday. And
I think that's the lesson we have learned, that if you want to get to the higher stage or another level, then we should have good surface here at home, because we can't continue playing in a bad surface and expect us to go and play at that stage in a good surface, because the ball moves so fast. So we should have to adapt from just here from home, because if I'm playing on a good surface, whenever I have the ball, when I pass the ball, it comes with a lot of speed. It means you have to move with a lot of speed. And when you go to the next stage, to the higher level, then it's automatic. But if you continue playing in this state of the fields, then it's going to be so tough, and we can't do anything. Even that dream of playing 2022 World Cup, then it will be just a dream.
All right, there you have it as far as today's game is concerned. 4-0 hiding. Hope we've learned something. On Saturday, of course, that's the 22nd of this month. We'll be having the All-Stars again taking Sevilla. At the same time, that's will be 10 p.m. And of course, we'll be taking you through that game again. It will be shown live on Bamba Sport. Keep this conversation going on Twitter, Facebook, and of course our Instagram pages. And of course, it's not even a good day, but again, thanks to Okumbi and his charges, of course, they've learned something. And of course, thanks to the team behind all this production, the director Marion Laikipia, Mr. Martin Karanja, and of course Fabrice, the producer Hesbon, and Dan Kilonzo for making this production possible. From all of us here, let's at least go rest with that 4-0. Of course, we learned something. Have yourself a good night.